Hi. Hi, Sean. How are you doing? Man, your stuff looks incredible. Like, I'm like, I don't want to say surprised, but like you telling me that you just like recently started learning, it like truly does. I was like, wait, what? No, like 100% honest. I wouldn't lie. You learned from me, but it has such a like unique flavor to it. Like even the way you textured um and everything looks great. I mean, you should be feeling good. Definitely. I would be feeling good if I made that. So what is your polish situation looking like? What's the issue there? Tell me about it. How are you rigging it? Like what's the 4 million poly? That's yeah, you won't be able to like animate that properly. I mean clothing shouldn't be that high poly either. Did you do Marvelous or did you do Blender clothing? Or is it like a scan? Oh, you did it in Marvelous? I mean, honestly, seeing a wireframe would be nice. But man, that's I've learned Marvelous like a month ago, and I've been doing this for like 5 years. Okay, if you do, I can sort of go over how I would approach it. Most of my stuff is pretty low poly. Like I don't think my characters get over like I would say like 80,000 polys with clothing. When you export them, they're low poly. I'm doing something wrong, but I would screenshot it. Yeah, of course. Like it would help. I mean, I think there's like quite a few ways of like fixing it, but it just depends on the way your topology looks at this point. Let me know when you send it. So I'm gonna look at. I suppose you'll send it on Insta. All right. Just let me know so I look at it. Honestly, if you you could send me like multiple. I mean, yeah. Like you can send me it any way you want.
from the void. Oh, the night is dark and full of terror. Myself, there's nothing to be scared of. I know in my heart that the light is near me. Shadows in the dark, I do not fear them anymore. Constant pain, hearts in decay, government pills to numb everything.
They're a mess. Well, let's see. Maybe it's not as bad as you think.
Forgot how to feel, cost of the cage, product of your environment. It's not your fault, you don't like to live. The slaughterhouse,
Well, the head is fine.
born to the fire, your
Body could definitely use a lot less police.
world crisis kids.
Are they connected?
Those narcissists getting high on blood, more paper cuts, their favorite drug. So hard I shake, but you won't.
It's like a little funky, but overall topology like pretty good. It's just too dense for animation. And join them. Well, that's fine. I would just say unjoin them and remesh using quadrimesher or do yourself like a topo. And then like rebake the textures. Like, let me save this. I'll show you what I just quad yesterday. Oh, good. Well, it's time to use it. I'll show you what my topology looks like on a character. Let me save this first. And I didn't do any like I didn't do any like hand retopology here. But the way I do it, man, this character isn't the greatest to show. Crashed. Oh, it's because it's different Blender version. Okay. This is not exactly like yours, but like from my last short. But this is kind of what my topology looks like for the character. It's not actually like that low. But this is 35,000 pieces in total without hands. And let's bring the hands in. And this is all done using Exocide quad remesher. Thank you, man. Thank you. This is kind of messed up, but it doesn't matter for my project. Oh, you didn't. You just. I sculpt. I use Exocide quad to remesh. Do you have to rebake to keep the material? Yeah. And if you don't know how to rebake, I can go over it really quickly. It's not that hard. It's just like tedious. But it's like don't give up on it because you have to redo it. The one thing I can tell you about the remesher. I mean, one sort of tip I can give is you think the quality really suffers when you remesh. You're like, oh, I lost all my detail. Blend until it blends, exactly. You think it like lost a lot of detail, but you know, honestly, it's not. When you have the material on, when you have little subsurface on, that detail is gonna get lost anyway. And motion blur, camera blur. But the thing about quad remesher, and something that is not like very intuitive because it's kind of broken for newer Blender versions, but I'll show you real quick. Actually, I did this like 10 minutes ago. But let's say I want to remesh this, right? And if I do like normal remesh, right? Let's say I want to put it to like 5,000 pieces, right? And I click remesh. It's taking a while. But like I lost so much detail in the face. And I have like too much detail on the body, right? Like that's something I wouldn't want. Or hands. Also, it was me yesterday. Exactly. Like, also, if you've done your head with a face builder, I wouldn't remesh the face builder head. It has like perfect topology. But the tip here is, like, I would separate the body, right? And then you do the fingers, and they're like too low poly, right? And the body is too high poly. The cool thing about quad remesher is that, let's say I want a lot of detail for the face, and I want not that much detail for the body. You can go into Vertex Paint. So your high poly is red, like pure red. Like go to RGB, set red to 1. This is your high poly part. And use a smooth polish, right? And then your blue, it's like cyan. It's green and blue at once. It's your low poly, I think. It might be just blue. I don't remember. And then you hit use vertex color. Yeah, like this doesn't work. Okay, yeah. That way you can keep your detail and do the remesh and keep the high poly, and low poly, low poly. And also don't forget that you can bake height information. Yeah, separate them. Like, you don't need them together. Unless your character's like body's like fully visible. I think your person had a t-shirt on. Like, you don't really need it. And also, if you do this in the future, or like do a new character from scratch, the sort of the best way to go about it would be some shoes and a jacket. Yeah, you don't need them to be together. Also, hi Brandon, how are you? Here's my sculpting sort of workflow. You actually like don't really have to think about it. It's kind of like it has a lot of steps, but so I would do this, right? And then I would do like a subdivision. Let's say it doesn't really matter. I'll do like 2 and apply, and then I go into my sculpting. I do Dynatopo. Just so I can like have that sort of infinite resolution. Always do constant detail, but with this scale, probably 40. Yeah, I'll do something like that. And it doesn't kind of matter what you sculpt. But that would be like the basic outline of like, let's say your body. Right? Maybe even higher res. Sorry, I'm just having fun. Oh wait, draw sharp doesn't work with this. Crease sharp, that's what I was looking for. But let's say you sculpt whatever. Your body. I do basic shapes with Dynatopo. Then I quadrimesh it to like the lowest, not too low, but to like the, you don't want your character to be like over 80,000 paces really. Like at most 100,000 maybe, with like all the parts. I do this, right? So I have that clean poly. I have that clean topology. And then I do multi-resolution. And it's subdivided a shit ton of times. And then I sculpt all the detail over this. And the higher your base model is, more you can more max resolution you can have. Like if you have your low poly at 5,000 polys, it's gonna struggle when it gets to like 6 million polygons, but if you have like 20,000, it will struggle at 14 million. So it's like, you have to think about that kinda, but not too much. The cool thing about this is I'm gonna go back to layout, set my levels viewport to 1, shade smooth, and then baking the detail is like extremely easy. Just go to bake from multi-res, And image texture. Let's say I want this to be test normal. Is this useful at all? I think I'm just having fun, but you let me know if this is not. And then you just select it and you clear, hit bake. Oh, you have to unwrap it. Just unwrap. Okay. Mark seam. Unwrap. And then you see how good this poly is? Like very low poly? My UV map might be awful. But now it's baked. And then all you have to do, go to image editor, test normal, pack, and then non-color. Oh, this is normal. I forgot. Normal map. And then you have your high poly right here. The lighting kind of bad. And then if I duplicate this, if you the lesson here is, if you try to think ahead, it's way easier that way. Maybe not the best example because the topo kind of breaks. But yeah, anyway, you can keep your detail like that. And you can also do that without having the multi-res. You can do that just by making a cage. And if you want me to talk over that, and when I rig them up, having a lower poly model will help that. I mean, I use Mixima. But the thing about animating, you really want to have your model under 80,000 polys. If not, you'll never see your... I mean, depending on the PC you have, but it would be hard to reach 24 frames per second in a viewport display. And also it will help rigging because your weight paints would be a lot better. And working with your weight paints would be better. Like, much easier. It's really hard to work with weight paints if you have high poly model. First of all, it's slow, and then it's so easy to make a mistake. Don't forget that you can always subdivide. Also, like, let's say I mean, I'm sure you had a like rough time, right? Also, like, let's say you did your retopo on top of your high poly. You can always go back and add detail with multi-res. And just have it to render on one, like let's say, or like two. And keep the viewport at 0. That way you can have like higher like density information, but have your viewport running at 24 frames. I do that a lot with like some things. And in terms of clothing, Blender really hates triangles. So in Marvelous, I use quads. There's an option for quads in your fabric settings, I think. Also, I always do like non-thick model, like just a planar model. And I use Solidify in Blender, and then I use Subdivision Surface. You set the close to quads? How are you getting a million polys? It doesn't look like million polys. Like your character looked like maybe 200,000 at like most. And like this is all together is 22,000 faces. Wait, how are you getting that? How are you getting that many polys? I'm guessing it's mostly from the clothing, right? Because your character, I mean, I sculpted in the iPad and didn't remesh. It's gotta be the clothing. Your character doesn't look that insane. Like, it honestly doesn't quite look animatable. I feel like my PC would struggle with your model, but you know, maybe you have better CPU, I don't know. And it could work. But the rest, I mean, also check your Marvelous settings, what the point distance is. And it's kind of hard for me to like give advice on that because I think that depends on your scale you work with. But you can also look at the wireframe in Marvelous and see how crazy it is. If it's crazy or not. But I'm 9% Marvelous, and that's newest stat. Yeah, just before you sort of simulate anything, look at your wireframe. That would be the easiest way to eliminate Marvelous from this. There's also optimized quad, and I've gotten worse results from it than with just quad. Even though quad kind of tends to load slower. In Marvelous. In Blender, it's fine. Also make sure, like, I don't know, yeah, look at your clothing wireframe. Like, I would even say this is pretty high poly. But it's fine. Well, first things first. How do I separate the head? It's not like joined, right? It's not like you welded the vertices together. Right? Right? Well, them things are welded. They didn't look welded. Where did you weld them? I'm looking at the picture right now. Wait, are you joined with a capital J? Wait, so are you telling me... Wait, Sean, are you telling me that those quads at the bottom of the head are like an insane n-gons with like millions of vertices running on the bottom? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Correct. Okay. Well, select face. Click on the face on your head. Shift G. And honestly, just hope for the best. Wait, are they the same materials too? Like, if your body and your head are different materials, you could select by material. You could also do area. And like in this example, area of everything is pretty similar. So it's not gonna give me a good result. But Shift G, perimeter. Yeah, perimeter sounds better. And you can just hope that it selects your head. I'm trying to think. I mean, you could manually select the bottom. Use Shift G. Yeah, select the face on your head, Shift G, and do perimeter. And play around with the threshold. I mean, it's... Okay, this will select the neck for you. And then you can just like... How do I show this right? So Shift G perimeter. You won't be able to select your entire head, but you'll be able to cover your neck. And then you could just shift left click, select the whole upper part of your head. With the, of course, with the Alt Z, with X-ray mode, in X-ray mode, so it actually selects everything. Thunder frozen me so many vertices. Yeah, I've been there, man. I've been there many times. Sean, are they the same material? Is everything the same material? This is an important question. I'm looking at the wireframe, trying to decide if there's a better way. Definitely the same material. Okay. Okay, let's think. Okay, you could also select the intact loop, like the loop before. Wait, let me show you how I see it. Okay, so maybe you could select this loop, like using Alt. Like I would select like maybe a few loops and just and then in X-ray mode select the entire top. And then P separate by a selection. This is getting too complicated. Let me know if I'm helpful at all. Or if you're tired of me, you can also let me know. This is a puzzle. Yeah, it kind of will require manual work. It's just the problem is like the topology is clean separately, but it doesn't make loops after that certain point. Like, I'll show you my example. But I connected my head to the body just by like counting the amount of faces I would need, and then just sort of making triangles so it matches. It's not the cleanest way either. Like, you would just probably have to retopo some of this part, like the bottom of the neck going to the shoulder, like manually, to get that back. But then you would have to retexture it anyway. Oh, I'm not even showing. I'm rendering in the background, so my blender is really slow. But at least, like, a lot about 3D is just thinking ahead. Again, if you don't plan on if you don't plan on revealing the seam between the head and the body, I would honestly just not connect them, not join them at all. Like, except for this file, like, I always have my body and head separate. What's my next question? Really no need to join. If they're always separate, yeah. I actually, okay, I don't have them separated. I usually don't have a body at all. And this is an example how it's usually done for my projects. Like, there is actually nothing. If I hide the clothing, there's actually nothing there. I use a proxy. Like that. A very low poly. All you need to make sure is that your like weight paints are the same. So like for the proxy, to have the same, like if this is a neck, proxy should have the same weight paint. That way they will stay together. This is not too clean, just because I didn't need it to be clean. But that's how I usually do it. I never actually have a body. Because it's like, why do I need a body if it's not visible? You know? And that's like the t-shirt and jeans and the coat. And no one will ever know. Very clean body. Yeah, no hair. No hair this time. I might ask you for a video on that sometime in the future. Sure. It's nothing complex. It's so, for example, you have your model right now, the way it is. I would go into quadrimesher, and I do like the lowest amount you could. Because I'm just here sculpting for hours on the body. Well, the question is, do you need the body? Is it gonna be in your render? If it's not, you don't need it. Yeah, like I would go to your model you have now. Just to make everything's like actually welded. I don't know if your hair is welded to the head. It doesn't seem so. He'll be fully clothed. You don't need the body. Just need like little hands and head. Like I would go here, right? I would do remesh, but like the blender remesh, the one you have in the sculpting menu. But make it pretty high poly, and then I would do quad remesh with like 20,000 polys at most. And that's your proxy. And done. I mean, that's how I did mine. It works. Sean, it's like 3D is so hard. Cut every corner you can. And I actually keep telling Brendan that too. Every single corner you can cut, you cut it. It's not gonna be seen in the shot, don't spend time on it. Don't need a close-up. Don't do 8K textures. Do you know what I mean? And also it's like, for me it's nice to have heads separate. Because then I don't have to use UDIMs. I can use like a full-on 8K texture face without thinking about like the resolution. I think it's, to be honest with you, Sean, I think it's one of the most important not questions, but things I've learned. Because I used to be so like perfectionist on every little detail, and everything I did had to be perfect. Like, again, like if I was doing something like this, yeah, a separate time. Dude, it was a revelation to me. I was like, one day, I was just sitting there. I was doing something like you were doing, where I was like, oh, I need a full body. I needed to be properly textured, that and that. And then I started doing my short film. And I was like, first of all, this is really slow. Second of all, what's the point of that body if no one will ever see it? It's taking up my like computational power. It's using an 8K texture because it's a body. And I'm like, delete. Just use a proxy for clothing, like collision. And that's it. And then it allowed me to have very high resolution textures for the head. And it allowed me to have very high poly hands that I've sculpted. So everything else could take a little break. It's like balancing it out. It's like playing an RPG and distributing your points. It's like, why would you distribute your points into something that you will never use? Like intelligence. No, I'm kidding. My Elden Ring character was intelligence build. But man, it looks incredible. I have to admit. But it all makes sense. Yeah, honestly, small things like that. It's like I always cut corners. But so I can focus on telling the story. Like even like in terms of rendering, my rendering settings are a joke. Probably to most people who like do like photorealism. All my lights are clamped at like ridiculous values. I don't care. It looks good. It renders like 20 times faster. Well, who cares if like the indirect right light is correct? And then I can focus on texturing. I can focus on sculpting and telling a story instead of thinking about how many hours will something take to render. I love the body though. I love the shape. Yeah, I didn't even know your cursor didn't have body. Say it, I don't. Though the first time I did the body is for the latest short, just because I was wearing a robe. And honestly, even there, I mean, you saw it, right? Like, it's not even that good. It's sort of like it's pretty lazy. Um, because even the arms aren't connected, and actually you can see it like in a short. Oh god, where is it? And stories where I come from. I mean, stories art. But yeah, like even here, I was like, I connected the head, and I was about to connect the arms, and I was like, nah, I just hope the rope covers the seams. So I didn't I didn't even connect this. And the resolutions are different. I mean, actually, they're pretty similar. But I do like subdivision on this for render. Actually, I'm doing multi-res. And it's partially like um it's partially the style I work in. Like if you think about it, oh, like if it were to be like a stop motion animation, right? You wouldn't blink an eye if you saw like a separate parts of uh the puppet, right? So it's like even if it's visible, like are people gonna be like, oh shit, he didn't connect his arms and legs? It works. Unless it's behind the scenes. Literally no one's going to know. Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's a good thing. And it's not why I chose the style, not at all. But I also realize how much freedom it gives me to make decisions like that. And when you work in 3D, I feel like it's important, unless you do like VFX or you do like architectural rendering. Don't forget you're making something in 3D. Do you know what I mean? It's not real life unless you want it to be real life. And or like look like real life or imitate real life. You have all the creative freedom to make those sort of choices. They will say, "Look at this artistry." Yeah, though they're like, "Oh, it was like I thought it was 3D, but I saw that the arms aren't connected. It must be real." I mean, Sean, like you know how many people actually think that I'm making real stop motion? It's crazy. And I'm like, it doesn't even look that. It doesn't even look that. But you know, in some ways it's good, I guess, because that's the overall style I'm going for. But yeah, have some freedom. Like nothing has to be real. Bodies don't have to be there. Topology doesn't have to be connected. It just has to work. And honestly, when you said you had like millions of polygons, I thought you had like a sculpted triangle. It's such a high compliment. I think it confuses me a little because I mean I guess I make it so I know how it was made, and to me it doesn't look stop motion, but I guess to other people it does, and that's good. But yeah, when you were telling me you have like millions of polys, I kept thinking, oh my god, he's gonna send me like a triangulated like Dynatopo mesh, and even then it's like just decimated, and every Blender head will tell you, oh, triangles terrible. Don't decimate your sculpts. I'd say decimate it. I mean, if you can get to the right amount of polys by decimating your triangulated mesh, it's fine. If it works, it's fine. And then they will say, oh, it doesn't deform correctly. Yeah, maybe in some parts it doesn't. Is it gonna be seen in the render? Man, if my viewport is running 24 frames and I can actually do my work, I don't care. Obviously, if you have an option to have good topology, have good topology. But sometimes it doesn't matter. Also, like throw your character in Unreal Engine. It's gonna triangulate it anyway. That's how games work, or like game engines work. Like, what's the difference? I don't know. Sorry, it was like a little rant, and it's no shade on like people who enjoy good topology. I do enjoy good topology. I was like, I was doing I was doing a project like what's the word? Well, I was working for someone, right? And they wanted a character. And it's the first time that I actually hand retopoed a model. I was so excited. I mean, if Brendan's here or if someone who was there when I was there here, um I was like, look at this topology. Can you believe I actually retopoed this myself? Like I am excited about topology. But it doesn't it's not a solution to everything, and it doesn't have to be. Sorry, I'm like on this trend where like this talk about 3D and art, and again, like if you're a hard surface modeler, if you do make models for living, or no shade, absolutely. Beautiful topology, great. But if you're shooting a short film and you're working on a laptop like me, and and you're doing everything yourself, you're like you're doing the camera work, you're doing the lighting, you're animating the character, maybe you're writing music to it. You know, there's so many things to do. And then for a person to come in and say, "Oh, you have like 81,000 polys. The correct number for your character should be 80,000." You're like, I don't care. I get 24 FPS in my viewport. Like, it doesn't have to be that strict. And people like make such a big deal out of like the number of faces. Man, we're past that time. I was making a game and I made a character for a game, and my character had 200,000 polys. Man, if you tell that to any like game developer, they would lose it. Literally had zero performance impact. Like it was running 60 FPS, and my game was set to 60 FPS. I mean, that game that never got released, and probably will never be released, and it's not even done. It has one level. Um, but yeah, anyway, that's a rant. I think just cut corners, man. Cut corners where you can, because imagine telling them 4 million. Well, the 4 million could be fine if you had a quantum computer and you had your viewport. The only problem with 4 million is you're gonna be losing so much time every time you move your character, every time a deformation happens. That a very small animation would like take you a while. But hey, if you have a CPU that can handle that and you're running at 24 FPS, I don't think a CPU like that exists, at least for like um you said a quantum computer. Yeah, I mean honestly, quantum computers probably can do that, right? But man, it's like that's classic. Like the thing about Blender that is kind of true. It in some ways it's ass, right? I mean, I love Blender. Don't get me wrong, but man, the entire thing runs on one CPU core. Like you're telling 4 million polys to one CPU core, and it's like, oh man, can't do that. Shit, now I kind of believe that you have a quantum computer, Sean. Every time I use it, I think, damn, I need a new computer. Man, sometimes Sean, to be honest, my guilty pleasure is just there's like there's websites that can compare the hardware of the PCs. They have like those graphs, right, where it's like, oh, this GPU is this much faster than this GPU. Sometimes I go on there and I just compare my laptop to like higher end shit, and I'm like 60% faster. Holy shit! I need it. I need it right now. And then I started thinking about all the possibilities I'm gonna have when my renders are gonna be 60% faster. And oh man, the CPU turbos to like 6 GHz, and my only does to 3. Oh my, imagine. I do the same, man. I love looking at those numbers. They just excite me. And you know what excites me? That it can get better. And when I have the money, I'll spend it. I'll spend it. But I'm definitely, after realizing that my 3080 Ti in my laptop is slower than like a 2070, I'm never doing a laptop again. Like, I'm definitely building a PC. Even though I'm a laptop life guy because I travel a lot. You just need more paste. Man, I actually ordered some new paste and then I kind of forgot to pick it up and it got sent back. You and me both. Yeah. Oh, I kept reading about people like just moving to different places and just buying a new case and they just package all the things. Some people like buy new power supplies when they move. But they like keep the GPU and the motherboard and the CPU in their luggage. And I'm like, that's a good idea. Well, what else do I need? I have like 3 t-shirts, 2 pairs of jeans, and like nothing else. So it's doable. It's doable. But man, talking about GPUs, them new NVIDIA GPUs are kind of not good. Kind of not good. Upsetting. So I didn't even know what I would get. AMD GPUs seem to be fine, but they just don't work with anything non-game related. I mean, I love laptops. I'm really happy with mine. Like really happy. It's one of the best purchases of my life. Like I love the shit out of my laptop. Wait, Sean, you don't know this story, but like a couple weeks ago, I was repasting my laptop and I like I've done this so many times and it was the first time when I forgot to unplug the battery. And I was like cleaning the old paste off and then a spark and uh and my heart sank to like my toes, man. I put it back together. I tried to turn it on and it didn't. I was literally just like wearing a robe and Crocs. I put that shit in a bag and I ran outside. I didn't even know where I was going. I just like went to this like a really shitty like it's not a shitty place, but it looked terrible. It didn't even have like a sign. I just looked it up and someone was like, "Oh, this guy fixes laptops." It was like this small place with like this guy just sitting there. And I ran in like almost crying. I was like, it doesn't turn on. And he's like, I see. And then he opens it up and he's like, you forgot to unplug the battery. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, this is really bad. It was like one of the weirdest days of my life. I was like trying to think, what else could I do in life? A different career path? Maybe I'll go back to like illustration. But he fixed it, which is the good news. But the moral of the story is if you're changing your pace, unplug the battery. Don't be lazy. Or don't forget it. My laptop was fried. Unplug the battery. Unplug the battery. Just do it. It's not gonna hurt you. It's only gonna make it good. It's like I've always done it. I always unplug the battery. But um but the last 2 times I didn't, and it was fine. That's a scene for a future. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that. I'm just afraid I running out with the robe and Crocs. Oh man, it was so funny. Like the dude, it was actually like the whole story is so long, but it was like very cinematic because like when he called me back and he called like way late. He was like he was making like a cinematic call out of it because he was like, "So, your laptop." I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, it's not looking good, not looking good, you know, like shit, the power thing got fried. Everything got fried." He was like throwing like the terminology at me that I don't understand. But while he was like saying that, I just kept like I just realized that he couldn't fix it because like I know about modern laptops. If someone gets fried, if something shorts in your laptop, it like takes a whole bunch of things with it, right? Like one thing shorts, your laptop is most likely dead. Most likely dead. So he was like making such a big deal out of it. He's like, it's so terrible, you know, it's horrible. Like it shorted out, the power lines fucked, everything's fucked, nothing works. I felt terrible. And then he like makes a and he's like, well, you know, to cut long story short. And then he like does this like dramatic pause for like 30 seconds. I'm like freaking out, man. And he's like, well, I fixed it. Come get it. I was like, oh my god. Why did you have to make such a big deal out of it? It was funny though. I'm actually grateful that he did it. Just because it was such a contrast between the highs and lows of that conversation. But yeah, I mean I could make a short out of it. But also like so many things in the oven. Plus I started taking commissions and I just hope I can put life on pause, like stop the time and just work on everything. I got super lucky. Oh, true, man. You know, everything kept breaking for me. My water heater broke with like an unfixable error. And I was like sitting here without fucking hot water. I found a loophole how to turn it on. Like my week was awful. My week was like it was like one of the worst weeks. I had so many things going on in my life that just weren't going well. But anyway, past that, survived that. But now I'm like very excited to finish other things. All right, what was I working before I went on this crazy rant? Oh, I was working on that King Crow thing. But am I too tired now to keep going? And now it's on to 4 million. A tree, I believe. It's tree. Yes. Um, but I think let me see. I just need to make a plan. All right, good luck. And honestly, I'm probably gonna go to sleep. Hey, thanks for like hearing out my rant about a life and topology. Um, A good plan goes a long way. It's true. That's something Brandon taught me as well. But um I think I'm gonna think about how I approach this because I actually want to remake a lot of things regarding this. Of course, always here, man. If you want to share anything with me, um, or if you have any questions, I'm here. Happy to help. Wait, the trees came back. Feel free to send it to me. Also, like, hey, I even accept blend files. Like, if you want to share a file with me, I love figuring out things and puzzles and all that kind of things. Goes back to what you were saying. Think ahead. Yes, honestly, because it's like how I'm gonna approach this project is it's very important. It's gonna define what I actually do here. Because it's either I do a very simple route of just like rendering a good version of what I already have, or making this good, like truly good. And I don't know if this project warrants me spending lots of time on this. All right, see ya. Good luck. Much love. But also, maybe King Cruel hires me for a music video if it's good. I would redo the animation, to be honest. It's also like it's also messed up. I don't know how I did the clothing for this one. Wait, I made this before Boundless, and I made this before the. No, I did the burger one. So lots of time. This animation is very simple. I think I would do it in a day. But I'm using a very weird method because I didn't know how to do this properly yet. And it's just an instance of a character, and it actually doesn't exist in this space. Like I can't even select the leg. And because of that, the the clothing sim never actually works properly. It has to be like it has to have a very precise relative path to bake. And that annoys me a lot. He doesn't exist here. He exists in a different scene. If you can believe that, he exists here. He doesn't exist, Lucky. Hey, don't say that. We have so many beautiful things going on for us. Yeah, I think I will do it. I think if I don't stream, I'll do it in a day. If I stream, I'll do this in 2 weeks. Oh man, the amount of distraction. I'm kidding. I wouldn't stream if I didn't want to stream. But also, why is Make It Last Media mean to me? Make It Last, are you here? Why did you say that my animation's not good? If you're here. If you're not, Brandon, why is Make It Last mean to me? He commented on my animation, he said not good. I was kind of sad. Not again. I don't know if you've seen it on the Ice Cube one. And I was like, and I commented back. I was like, what's up? I said, why? And he doesn't respond. And I said, he said that on Last Short as well. He did again. I remember him saying that on Last Short. I know he commented that on a new one. And I said why, and then I sent a crying emoji. And he doesn't respond. Sad. How are you, Brandon? Are you at work? I mean, are you working right now? Feeling down lately? Work is getting to me. Oh no, life. I hope it gets better, man. Well, let's actually have a proper call this weekend, no? Oh no. I remember though. I remember you telling. I'm sorry, man. Hopefully it. No, I not hopefully it will get better. I'll do a poll tomorrow. I mean, Gia couldn't make it last weekend, but let's talk this weekend. Let's just have some fun. I'm also down to do like a work day when we just like talk on Discord and work at the same time. I can do late. The That sounds like a good time on Koji. Well, I think I'm gonna go sleep. And I'm really hoping the render for I'm currently rendering the last scene for the observation. Hopefully when I wake up it's done. Talk soon, man. Hey, have a good day. Hopefully it's good. A lucky day. And work can eat ass. All right, Brandon. Much love. Much love. All right, see ya. Bye.